Get exceptional with Central Pacific Bank's exceptional checking account. No fees when you use any ATM in the country. Bank anytime, anywhere with mobile deposits and online bill pay at no cost. And no charge for notary service or cashier's checks. Plus, for a limited time, get this complimentary iPad when you open a CPB exceptional checking account with $10,000 new money and direct deposit. It's time to expect exceptional. Central Pacific Bank, going beyond.
Right now at 10, showtime in Waikiki for 3 days of parties and parades.
New rules on vacation rentals passed their first test at the City Council.
The rail boss says the project is cleared for more federal funding, but when?
And more arrests from an HPD operation targeting homeless camps across the city.
From across the islands on KGMB and KHNL. This is your source for breaking news. Hawaii News Now at 10.
And we start with a live look at the main drag through Waikiki. Kalakaua Avenue is packed right now for the Pan Pacific Ho'olaulea.
And this is just the first of 3 days of cultural celebrations, hula dancing, music, food, and two of the city's biggest parades. Tomorrow, thousands will turn out for the 103rd King Kamehameha Floral Parade from Iolani Palace to Kapi'olani Park.
And then on Sunday, the Pan Pacific Parade. As Ben Gutierrez reports, they are two distinct groups tied together by sponsorships and good times.
Thousands are jamming Kalakaua Avenue for the Pan Pacific Festival Ho'olaulea. It is, of course, closing down one of the busiest thoroughfares in Waikiki on one of the busiest weekends of the year. The Ho'olaulea is the first of 3 consecutive days of activities in Waikiki. The Pan Pacific Festival has been promoting international friendship, especially between Hawaii and Japan.
Bringing it here, I think the intent and their desire was to bridge these two cultures together, Hawaiian culture, our traditions, Japanese culture, and then to help promote this idea of unity and harmony.
But it's also meant to attract more visitors from Japan and all over the globe.
I was talking to people from Missouri, all the way in New York. I was like, how long did it take you to go here? Italy, France, Australia, just everywhere.
It's awesome. I mean, it takes such a organized effort to do this, you know, with the police department, the fire department, the hotels, the Uber drivers and everything, but it's like it brings everybody together.
It's also the weekend marking a major state holiday, Kamehameha Day, with the traditional lei draping of the king's statue fronting Ali Iolani Hale and the 102nd annual parade honoring the king, which will wind its way down Kalakaua Avenue through Waikiki. Then there's the parade for the Pan Pacific Festival, also down Kalakaua, Sunday evening. One reason why they're so close together?
Kintetsu, the sponsor of Pan Pacific, has also become a large co-sponsor of our Kamehameha festivities, as well as other arts, as Nahoku Hanohano, which recently concluded.
The city recently passed a law limiting the number of events that shut down Kalakaua to 27 a year, down from 30. The 2 events this weekend are on a list of 15 legacy events that automatically get permits, but the back-to-back-to-back events make for a very busy weekend to jam Waikiki. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
A Honolulu City Council committee is advancing 2 proposals to increase enforcement and regulations on vacation rentals. Committee members listened to testimony for over 7 hours today. While the new system will allow nearly 2,000 new permitted rentals, a lottery system would likely decide who gets a permit. Supporters of enforcing and regulating the industry say something needs to be done before the problem gets even more out of control, while opponents say it would devastate the economy.
We've asked for regulation. You've given us termination. And so there is no way that I believe you folks have worked for us.
Walking away with nothing will leave us open to this industry expanding, becoming financially stronger.
The bills now head to the full council for a final vote.
New at 10, an inmate briefly escaped from withoutCC this afternoon, but was recaptured within minutes. The Public Safety Department says Williamson Cernan is serving time for unauthorized entry in a motor vehicle and assault. He now faces an escape charge. The department's currently facing a lawsuit after the last inmate to escape, Maurice Arrisgado, was shot and killed. The chronic staffing problems that fueled March's riots at the Maui Community Correctional Center have gotten worse. Now the Public Safety Department's looking for correctional officers on other islands who will volunteer to fill in a week at a time at the Wailuku prison. This memo from the Director of Public Safety offers to pay their hotel costs, airfare, and meals.
I guess I'm not surprised that the Department of Public Safety would go to extreme measures to cover the slots at the jails there. When you get to these triage situations, that's what happens. You end up being penny wise and pound foolish. It has to be cheaper to just have enough ACOs to cover the time slots.
MCCC is supposed to have 170 staffers, but at the time of the March riot, there were 17 vacancies. On one day in May, less than half of the staff reported for work.
Hawaii County Police have charged Jared Dunn of Kailua Kona with 2 counts of assault after a stabbing last night on Ahililani Street. 2 men with head and face injuries were taken to a hospital and later released. Dunn's bail is set at $10,000. Honolulu police returned to Campbell Industrial Park today, a day after a human arm was found in an area of heavy brush. Sources say the arm was in an advanced state of decomposition. The remains were taken to the medical examiner's office.
The head of the rail project says federal funding should be on the way again after he personally delivered a revised financial plan to the Federal Transit Administration today in San Francisco. The plan was approved by the City Council on Wednesday, 2 years after it became clear there was not enough money to pay for the $9 billion project. The new plan includes added taxes approved by the legislature and more money from the city. CEO Andrew Robbins says it's everything the feds asked for.
Well, this is a huge milestone for the project. They came out to Honolulu at the beginning of May, and they witnessed firsthand the progress, and they reiterated to me today that they really appreciate the amount of progress that we made on the project. So that was really pleasing to hear.
Robbins tells us he expects the first installment of the $744 million in federal funding will come early next year after a contractor is hired to build the last segment and operate the system.
Testimony today from a former police officer who was trying to contact Allison Lee Wong, the person the government says is Catherine Kealoha's imaginary friend. Lynn Kawano reports from federal court.
The trial now takes a week-long break. The government says they still have 3 to 4 witnesses left to call. Much of today's testimony again emphasized Allison Lee Wong's appearance when Catherine Kealoha needed to get things done. A series of email strings between Allison Lee Wong and this man, former HPD officer Rick Ornelas, over a party. But when Ornelas would ask her to call him, he testified that those emails were ignored. He never spoke with or met her. The email string included Jesse Ebersol, the former firefighter who pleaded guilty to lying about a romantic relationship with Catherine K. Aloha. The trial is going to take this break, and H&N legal expert Ken Lawson says that gives everyone, including the jury, some time to absorb the 55 witnesses they have heard from already, including and especially Florence Puana.
You saw the emotion that she evokes and the anger that can be evoked, right? When time elapses, most of us don't stay angry at people for that long. And so if that anger dissipates over the next week.
Trial resumes on June 17th. The government will call their last witnesses, including Danny Sellers, who pleaded guilty to sharing confidential information about the mailbox theft with Catherine. The defense then expects to take about a week calling their witnesses. This trial could wrap up by the 4th of July holiday. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Only on Hawaii News Now, sources tell us police arrested 40 people over a two-night operation targeting homeless camps. Police hit Kaka'ako's waterfront parks Wednesday, and then last night, A'ala Park, Crane Community Park in Kaimuki, and Old Stadium Park in Mo'ili'ili. Neighbors have welcomed the operation, but homeless campers feel it's unfair.
A lot of people that are making a bad name for the rest of the people out there, causing trouble, and you know, that riffraff there brings everybody else down, and everybody else is just trying to survive.
I have to actually carry a pepper spray and a knife on me to walk home at night because of the fact I don't feel safe.
We're told police acted on nearly 200 outstanding warrants. HPD is expected to give more details on the operation next week.
Just ahead, a dangerous mistake at Rainbow Falls. What happened to a woman who got too close to the edge?
What's happening in Honolulu, and I think it's happening all over the state, is we've reached a tipping point.
Frustration in Windward, Oahu leads to a radical idea that has some people asking, why not? So what's the proposal?
And as work continues on the Pali Highway, the state adds more drive times on the weekend. Hey, Jen.
And the weekend is finally here. Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. A beautiful night in store for us, but what will come our way as we go into Saturday and Sunday? Your forecast is coming up soon.